Here we are. I just got a pickleball court.
I got this in the mail. Gail mail coming at ya.
I even sent myself some inspiring Gail mail.
Outstanding. Like, I can't miss that. Like, how could you not have more abundance when it's right in your face?
That's right. Colorful abundance. That's what it is.
So today we decided to talk about something that I think at least most of us, at least half the population, can relate to, as far as the experience or feeling. Well, can't say half. I'm just thinking of like male, female, gender. Like, men can't get pregnant, but women can, but not all of them do. So, and we're talking about how success is like being pregnant. And I know that was going to be a catchy title because I had made a statement and actually quoted somebody in one of our TM90 conversations months ago. And it was like a healthy combination of funny, and people were like, what?
What did you just say? I don't
What did he say?
What?
So let me put it in context here and put some foundation to our conversation today. And it really revolves around how we interpret and how we perceive success. And now it's funny, I showed this, is that this is my one-word strategy for this year, and it's abundance. Okay, it's about the ability for me to give and contribute in such a way that it's the law of reciprocation, the law of reciprocity. It's going to come back to me. Not that I'm asking for it, but by the law of the nature, more abundance you put out, the more abundance you receive. And it's no different than the success I had focused on last year. So my word last year was success. And to me, success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal, meaning that if you know where you're going and your vision and goal is clear, and you put the steps in to work on that every day, getting closer to your goal and being intentional with that process, to me, that's a success. But success is also something that we attract. But I want to talk about social media for a second. And I was thinking to myself, and then I started talking out loud about how I wanted to present this conversation, this part, was you look at social media, look at Facebook, because we're doing this Facebook Live here, and then we'll be able to convert this into a podcast episode. When you look on your Facebook feed, and you probably can look up to what happened this morning, how many times do you see somebody posting their accomplishments and the win, the award that they received from doing XYZ? And then what usually proceeds after that? You get a ton of comments saying, oh, that's awesome. Welcome, oh, way to go. You so deserved it. You crushed it. Congratulations. And so you get all this acknowledgement and this recognition from all the things that you had posted about. And it's like the iceberg analogy. So you have the iceberg, and the only thing you see, which is just the tip, that's the successful part of your environment. But you have the 90% of all the things that you can't see. So the quote, and it was made by a gentleman, he's in his 70s. His name's Dan Pena. And he's like a trillionaire. Like, he is like uber wealthy, but he's very harsh. He's very assertive. He's very aggressive with his message, because that's how he was developed. I think that's just like, that was what he cultivated himself into. But there's something that he said to me, or not to me, but I've heard him say some time ago, and it just stuck with me. And then I was able to recap, or a fancier word would be recapitulate, in our conversation with the Promise Keepers. And that is success. If you look at success is like being pregnant. And like, well, sort of people are like, what does that mean? Well, it means that everybody's going to say congratulations, but nobody tells you, or nobody knows how many times he got fucked. Think about that. Now I am quoting it.
I know. I couldn't believe when you said that word.
So think about it. So when somebody showcases a layer of success, think about the last time you posted about something that you've accomplished. You're so proud. You're not proud of the accomplishment. You're more proud of what you had to endure to accomplish the success, which was the end goal, end result of that process. Think about like a diploma. Think about, a certification, something that, it's a promotion at work. Like, it's not a straight line. It's not from here to here. There's so much variation and diversity and setbacks that are involved in that process. They're proud of the challenges they overcame, or the obstacles, or the times that they wanted to quit but didn't quit, or the times they did quit and they realized, hey, it doesn't serve me anything to quit. Let me get back on the horse and go again. So success is like being pregnant. Everybody says, oh, congratulations. What a wonderful job. You're awesome. Pats on the back. But nobody truly knows how many times you got effed, how many times you slipped, how many times you failed. You know why? Because nobody talks about those. We do not talk about the failures enough, the setbacks, because we feel, and I say we because I'm talking from a societal position and just from coaching enough people, we feel that's a sign of weakness.
Steve, I remember hearing this, and I don't remember when, or by whom, but it was like, people are inspired by your success, but they're influenced by your failures.
Yep. I originally heard that. I had spoken that because I was impacted by that statement from Coach Peter Pacetto. And he had said that back to me, I would say, when we were first introduced 2.5, maybe even 3 years ago now. But still to this day, knowing what I know about the power of that statement, and not just as you, we don't speak still of our failures. We don't speak of our, what we'll call struggles, or our challenges. So that's something that I'm bringing more awareness to and putting more abundance into, is say, hey, it wasn't the fact that I became a national level natural pro bodybuilder. Like, hey, everybody, congratulations, that was so awesome. But nobody knows all the challenges and the struggles and the injuries, which weren't many in the day, but all the things I had to endure, all the years of training, all the years of nutrition, all the years of getting the rest, all the years of making the right decision versus the decision of being influenced by a set of peers.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like the transformation equation. You take responsibility. It takes commitment and consistency and time. Success is, it's the result of of who you were being in the process along the way. And, I jotted down some notes and thinking back of when I was pregnant. I've been pregnant 3 times. I love being pregnant. I enjoyed the feelings of that nurturing and the love, and just like knowing that there was something special about that, even at a very young age that I was. But there was fear. I remember I got pregnant at 17. There was fear around being pregnant. But when I had that baby boy 9 months later, there was the success, right? So there's a lot of fear of the unknown in your journey in business. When you're starting something, when you're starting a health journey, when you're starting a new business, there's fear of the unknown, but you have to push through. It's also exciting because, it's like, oh, you get the little test strips and it says positive, and like there's an excitement and energy around being pregnant. And then you have the process. Mm-hmm. During the pregnancy, there's the growth. You go through the growth period of, both physical and mental. Think of business. When you're pregnant, I can just tell you that it's really easy to put on 80 pounds when you're pregnant and you're not paying attention to things. But the physical and mental growth in business, it takes physical and mental capacities to grow, to learn, to lean into, to understand what's going on. And that leads to your success. Like the uncertainty. Oh man, can I do it? Can I be a good parent? Can I be a good mom? I'm 18 years old. Can I do this? And then it's so interesting that when you go through that process and you enter in, and there are failures. Man, I fail more than I can imagine. I tell my children, my kids are your age, Steve, and I tell them all the time, man, you got a young mom. I don't know if that was a ripoff for you or not, but you know, you got what you got because that's God's plan for you. And you know, at the end of the day, I look at my 3 children, they're grown, they're parents themselves, they're successful in life and business, and there's a sense of pride, right? I get to see my success every day. But there's pain involved. You know, I'm going to take all you moms that have gone through that birthing process. Remember what it was like, oh, you've got this baby growing inside of you and you feel the little kicks and then the water breaks and then the pains come, the contractions are coming harder and faster. And you look at that person. I look at my husband and said, don't you ever touch me again. You know, you go through that emotion. It's painful. It's heartache. It's like, I'm not made to endure this. And by the way, I never knew what an epidural was. So all you ladies out there in the now age, they get those little shots in your back and you're just laying back and you're having those contractions and you're smiling. That wasn't what it was like 45 years ago.
Was it not available then?
I don't think so. And I never had one ultrasound. I never knew what I was having.
Okay.
And there's there again, success. It's the surprise. You're pregnant. What am I going to have? Is it a boy? Is it a girl? What are their names going to be? And, you know, going back to that pain, as soon, like, I think it was literally moments after delivering that precious little baby, laying them on your chest, breathing in their freshness, like, that's the success, right? You let go of everything you just experienced moments ago. And even a few weeks later, you go, oh, I want to do this again. Some of you say, I'm one and done, baby. That I got through that. So in life, in business, we go through that as well. We pour ourselves into creating and growing through and creating that success. And we get to the end, and even through the pain, even through the suffering, you find fulfillment in what you've accomplished. So embrace what that success looks like and means to you. And maybe you're listening today and you're going, man, I've been pregnant for 15 years. When is the success going to show up? You know, man, do I have to be pregnant my whole freaking life? And
yeah,
we get that.
Here's what I appreciate about you, Gail, is that you take it quite literally, and you're looking at, like, it's the one side of the mirror. You look at a statement or a quote like that, and you start, like, instantly bringing back thoughts of being pregnant and going through the emotions and the feelings and the pain and the adversity which is involved. And then I'm thinking, I want to give a different perspective. I want to give a perspective of what the other side of the mirror looks like, and look at the entire quote, where probably most people, I was gonna say most men, but I can't speak for most men. They're gonna look at that and they're gonna say, all right, well, success is like being pregnant. Everybody says congratulations, but nobody knows how many times you got fucked. From a 3D perspective, when you look at that statement, you're thinking, oh, I think I got it. Like, I'm thinking how many times you were promiscuous before you got pregnant, because that's how many, like, that's the trials, those are the errors, that's the lust, that is the emotion built into. And then finally you find the right one, or hopefully it's the right one, and they become pregnant or you become pregnant. So for looking at the other side, I want to take it out of 3D for a second. Like, here's where we look and we peel back the layers of the onion and be like, all right, like what could this mean for you? And how could this transition into a more fulfilling, dare I say, vibrant life in perspective? So if you take it away from the 3D, now let's take it out of like pregnancy or intimacy for a second. And let's say it's your health. And you're looking at the health that you have, and you don't necessarily enjoy the health that you're in. You don't enjoy the state of fitness that you've positioned yourself to be in, because that is a choice. The choice that you put into who you are from a physical presence and being. So let's say you take out the 3D, meaning every time that you've been screwed or effed or fucked or whatever you want to say, people will say, well, that's other people. Like, I've been screwed by other people. I've been screwed by the government. I've been screwed by coworkers. I've been screwed by my boss. And they are blaming external circumstances for their lack of success. Thus is the pregnancy in which we are trying to birth a new version of ourselves. So instead, but it's not really the external. It's not the 3D. What if it was that you've been effed by your thoughts? You've been effed by your beliefs. You've been screwed by the emotions and feelings that you've chose to live in predominantly, due to the thoughts that you produced. And you can't necessarily blame yourself for that, because your programming may be off. And that's where we work from, is we work on your programming. When you work on your programming and elevate your programming, thus shifts your thought process. Why is that? Because we're asking ourselves greater quality questions. And the quality of our questions produces the thoughts that we have. And the thoughts that we have is going to produce the level and quality of our emotions and feelings. So I know that's going kind of deep. Like, you're really thinking about, all right, how many times have I had false starts? How many times have I started my fitness journey only to fall back into previous old non-serving habits? So it's not until you start shedding those beliefs and those stories that you become pregnant and can rebirth yourself sooner than 9 months and create a healthier version of yourself. But nobody knows. Like, if someone shows up to social media, and I see it every day almost, and kudos to them. Like, I'm giving, hey, you figured out the solution. You found the format. You have the framework in which you could stay committed to and stay aligned in, and you could stay motivated in. However, nobody's saying, all right, well, hey, they're holding up their pants, or like, hey, I lost 40 pounds. I'm so proud of myself. And everybody's like, oh, that's so awesome. Congratulations. You look great. You look fantastic. And so they get all the accolades. They get all the acknowledgement, what they showed up for, the result. But nobody knows, and nobody's talking about how many times they've been effed on their beliefs. Their emotions had steered them wrong. Their habits have been playing games with them. And that's what we want you to understand, is it doesn't matter how many times you've been screwed. You are just one choice, one decision, one commitment, one promise away from rebirthing who you are and who you choose to be. Success in general goes right back to the transformation equation. R times C squared plus T is greater than S. There's no coincidence that being responsible, being committed through consistency, and being patient, i.e. time, given enough time, it's going to be greater than your success. Well, how is it greater than your success? Because success is not something we chase. We don't pursue success. Mm-hmm. Success, as I just had alluded to, was, in my opinion, my thought, how I define it, is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Success is something you attract by the person you're becoming and who you are being: responsible, committed, consistent, patient, You could say integral, you can say accountable, you can say driven, you could say focus. I mean, there's hundreds of characteristics in which you are not currently being in now that is preventing you from celebrating the success of being pregnant in your life. That's the way that's looking at it from the other side of the mirror.
I love that about you, Steve, because you always have a way to bring it about to help people look internally, because we talk about that. Happiness is an inside job. It begins inside of us. When we look at the external circumstances in our life and allow those to guide and lead us and dictate where we're going to go, it's usually not where we want to be. But if we do it internally, we grow who we are internally and the characteristics that, look at somebody, look at the person that has the success that you desire in your health, in your business, in your wealth, in your relationships. Look at that person that you admire and spend more time learning, discovering who they're being to be that person.
We have our next conversation lined up for next week.
Yeah.
The conversation we're going to have next week is going to be identity over behavior.
I'll write that down.
Yep. Identity over behavior, because here's a little prelude to it. When we feel that we decide we're going to make a change, like it's time for me to make a shift. It's time for me to change. It's time for me to transform. Fill in the word. First question you ask yourself is, okay, what am I going to do? What's the program I'm going to do? What's my training routine? What's the nutrition plan? What's my macronutrient count? What's my diet look like? What time am I waking up in the morning? What time am I going to be committed to and disciplined going to bed at night? It's all the doing things where nobody looks. And this is, I feel it's my mission. It is my impact on this planet to provoke people to see that it has very little to do with what you're doing. And it has most everything to do with whom you're being, that is going to support what you choose to do. Because the doing is only as effective as the being, you doing the doing. So that will be our conversation on next Thursday, 11:11 Eastern Standard Time.
Looking forward to it already. I know.
You like apples, Gail?
Do I like apples?
You like apples?
Well, how about them apples, Steve?
I like them apples.
All
right. Well, thank you for being here and for your time and attention, and just for being open and honest with yourself, and take this conversation, play it back, not to hear us, but just to play back and find something that's going to land where you are currently. I'll be honest, I wasn't sure where this was going to land today, like how it was going to be perceived. But then I thought to myself, it doesn't matter how it's perceived. There's an option right now. If you're watching this live, or if you're watching the replay, just you can click out. Just, hey, all right, leave, go watch a cat pawn at some yarn or something. If that's entertaining. But we just want to give real life methodologies so that you can make greater decisions in your life, so that you live a greater quality of life. And isn't that what it's about? Isn't that what's important? Is that it's living the best, healthiest, happiest quality of life that you have to your potential. It's sort of goes back to what one of my mantras is. I don't know if you can have multiple. Can you have multiple mantras? Maybe.
If they're in alignment with one another, why not?
I mean, I've been saying for so long that I'm passionate, and you can sense that. Like when I talk, I get animated, like I just want you to understand, but it's not, it's not my responsibility for you to change. It's your responsibility for you to change. And you do that just one small step at a time. But I'm passionate about you living in your best, healthiest life to the greatest of your potential. It's not my potential. It's not Gail's potential. It's your potential. And if we can just deliver something that's going to make an impact every day or every week, then I feel like I'm fulfilling my dharma.
Mhm.
So,
Because we all deserve to live a vibrant life. And you determine what that vibrancy is in your life, and just go for it. You deserve it. You deserve it. So, Steve, it's never too late to live. What's Darren? What's your friend Darren say? I'm not saying.
oh, you have the power to change, to make the
Yes.
rest of your life the best of your life.
There we go. So with that, have a really great Thursday, and we're out.
See ya.